Well, hello, Love and Faith. The Teacher Squad is back again for a Fresh Word Bible study. We're in the lab. I'm Minister Cary Joseph.
And I'm Johnathan Lingo.
And today we'll be talking about?
We're talking about let there be thought on today.
Let there be thought. What are you thinking about? We want to dive deeper today. We want to get a greater grasp of how this thought thing works, how thinking works, the process. So we'll be doing that. But before we do that, we want to do a quick recap, because it is the lab, and we did have lab work by our beautiful sister, Lanika Barrington. So we want to touch that. The lab work question was, whose legacy impacted you and still lives on within you today?
All right, so I can say for me, it was my grandfather. So my grandfather was a first-generation preacher, then my dad was a second-generation preacher. Now I'm a third-generation preacher. So just having that level of commitment that he had to the ministry and just the people, like I'm definitely starting to see that in myself. Like I'm starting to learn to serve my church in different capacities. And so I'm just learning just how to serve. I feel like that legacy of him serving is what I'm carrying on right now.
Servanthood is a beautiful legacy. While I answer, I would like for y'all to go ahead and chat it up. Get in the chat and let us know whose legacy impacted you and still lives on within you today. Well, for me, I would have to say Pastor Helena Barrington. If y'all don't know, she wrote the play Majesty, which is a play full of music and dance, right? So she wrote all the music for the play. One night coming out of Majesty, me and Gerard, I'll never forget it, Gerard Walters was like, man, how did you come up with all of this, you know? And I was like, man, I just pray, God, give me double what you got, you know what I'm saying?
Wow,
give me some of what you got.
Yeah.
And she stopped us. Oh, my God, she was the sweetest person. She stopped us right there. She grabbed my hand, bowed her head, and prayed right there and said, whoa, God, what you giving me, I pray you give them double, bro. That thing changed my life forever, and I've been
huge.
writing ever since. Like, it's been like bolts of music.
That's huge. We want to hear from y'all. We want to hear from y'all. Whose legacy impacted you and which still lives on with you? We want to see what y'all got to say.
Oh, okay. Good morning. Good evening. Okay, that's from Stephanie. Okay, I see you, Lanika. Good evening, y'all.
How y'all doing? Oh, my homeboy Tim from Chicago. What's up, Tim? Miss Felicia, Mother Kelly, how you doing?
Massey, we're so proud, man. We're so proud of y'all.
Make sure y'all share this with your timeline. Share it to your aunties, your uncles, your mom, dad, Pookie, them, everybody.
All right. So while we're waiting for your response, because we need y'all chatting in the chat, we're gonna go ahead and move and talk about this past weekend. We had leadership boot camp, and it was a blessing. Like leadership boot camp wrecked us like
crazy, bro. Like I feel like our minds was just like blown away from Friday with Apostle Johnathan Pack. He was killing us so bad, dumping us so bad.
It was crazy.
It was insane.
It was nuts, bro.
But then, Pastor Aaron McNair, he came and was really like blessing our souls. Yeah. Like we learned so much, like different strategies that we could take from his church and use at our own church. Yeah. Like it was so much we was learning. Like I want to be a whole better servant. I want to get on every part of the every ministry team now.
Every ministry. I'm talking about, it don't matter, bro. Put me on there.
Wow. So Stephanie, she said my mom. Wow, that's huge.
Jalen Street. What's up, Jalen?
Hey, Elder Timmons.
Okay, Lanika said, my father, the legacy of spreading love and generosity.
Yeah, that's huge.
And the thing is, the legacy that they left within you is still living on. It's being spread because everybody you come in contact with, they get it. It's like COVID, we went through that spell when everybody was trying to stay away. Right. Because everybody you came in contact with, it was a possibility of them catching it. But that's the same thing with generosity. Like Lanika said, that's the same thing with love. That's the same thing with servitude.
Right. And I'll keep passing down.
Just pass that. Let's pass the love of Jesus. But okay, so we're gonna go ahead and move forward. So, like we said, the topic is let there be thought. So with let there be thought, the question we came up with is, what have you been thinking about lately?
And make sure y'all put that in the chat. Make sure y'all put that in the chat. Put your answers. What have you been thinking about lately?
All right. The reason why we ask you what have you been thinking about lately, because you know what you think about is what you become. You know what I'm saying? If you only see, okay, I remember this. Nas said it's a difference when he looked on the outside of his project and he was able to see the lights in Manhattan. The people who lived on that side of the project and seen the lights of Manhattan did better than the people who lived on the other side of the project and only seen what they seen in their community. Because he was able to see, it allowed him to think and want better. So it's very important to know what you're thinking about. Right?
So what have you been thinking about lately?
Lately, I've been thinking about being better in my now. Not so much about the result or the end or the destination, but knowing that the destination is a sure thing, but on the way to reaching the destination, I need to be becoming. So I'm focused on being the best Cary that I could possibly be, flaws and all.
Right.
But I'm going to be the best that I could be right now in this moment. That's what I be thinking about.
Right. So I like how you said just being Cary, because I feel like a lot of people know Cary the Dreamer.
Right.
But at the end of the day, you're still Cary. Like, you have a life outside of music.
Right.
Like, you have a whole soul.
Yeah.
And so, like, what you're thinking about, like, your thoughts matter. Like, what you're thinking outside of music.
Yeah.
Like, you should be thinking about, how can I be a better man for my family?
Exactly.
How can I be a better father to my kids?
Right.
Like, how can you be a better person on your workplace? Like, all of that matters.
All of that matters.
Right.
That's beautiful because, like you were saying, people just know you for your profession or what it is that you do.
Right.
But just like, Jesus, the disciples, like, they all had different professions, but really they were known for what they were called to.
Right.
Their calling was what they were known for. They were the disciples. They were
Right.
the ones who followed Jesus, served Jesus. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
They were the arms and hand of the ministry. You know what I'm saying? It's not enough just for you to be known as a musician.
Right. Because I feel like a lot of people just know me. Oh, that's Lingo. He the musician.
Right.
Like, they don't know, excuse me, that I'm still a full-time teacher.
Right.
Like, I'm an up-and-coming preacher. Like, I have a lot going on. And so, like, it's important that I got to keep my thoughts clear.
Clear,
Look,
bro.
my thoughts got to be straight on the keep it in your pathway, Lord. Look, that's real. That's real for me because I have to make sure my thoughts are, like, on that pathway of Christ because it's easy to get sidetracked.
Right.
Especially when you have so much going on, it's so easy to get sidetracked. So our thoughts have to stay, like, in alignment with the Lord.
Yeah, it got to stay in line with the Lord. And you can't, it's so much that that our gifting can pour into. It's so many different, areas that our gift could operate in, so it's like you can't let people box you in one thought, in their thought and how they view you. You can't be caught up by people's opinions. You have to be focused on the thought and the mind of Christ, because whatever he needs in that moment, he just might use you, and you can't be like, well, I'm just a greeter,
Right.
I ain't a preacher, so I don't feel like I should be sharing anything with anybody.
Right.
But nah, if God looking for you to share something with somebody, go ahead and share and see the different sides of you when you surrender and put yourself in the hands of God.
Right. So we want to see what y'all been thinking about lately. What y'all been thinking about? I know for me personally, I just been thinking, like you said, I think pretty much the same thing. I've been thinking about becoming, like, what is really about to happen in my life right now. Like, I know I just made this transition. Like, now I'm a licensed minister, so, like, I'm just knowing the demand for my whole life is just totally different.
Yeah.
I know things I used to do, I can't do no more. I can't think the way I used to think.
Yeah.
Of course, there was a progression towards, me becoming a minister, but now it's like I really have to think like I'm a true servant of the Lord now, which we all supposed to be servants, title or not. But like the higher you go, elevation wise, your thoughts have to go with you. They really got to go before you.
Yeah.
So that way I know like my mindset is always on the Lord.
Yeah. So just moving along. And again, we need this chat to be chatting on tonight, all right? We need this chat to be chatting. So when we ask the question, we want you to actually be answering and be thinking about it. What have you been thinking about lately? So to dive into this, we're going to talk about the definition of thought. Okay, what is thought? And this blew us away.
Yeah.
Thought, the definition of thought is an idea or opinion produced by thinking or occurring suddenly in the mind. So a thought, when you have a thought, it's an idea or opinion produced by thinking. And here it is, I thought thinking and thought, we use them like simultaneously, like with the same situation, like flip-flop, but it's two different things. Thinking is one thing. When you think, that's where thought is produced. Thoughts are produced by thinking. So that led me to see when I think, it's more that happens. Thinking is the base of it. It's like where thought springs out of. It's where thought is birthed. So basically, what you're thinking about is where your thinking place is so crucial and so important that area that where you think is from a positive place. You don't want, just like your house, you don't want that to be nasty. You know what I'm saying? This house, you don't want this house to be nasty. You don't want that when you think like it comes from a nasty place, like a dark place. You have to evaluate where are you. You have to evaluate where is that birthplace. If somebody was dealing with a baby or getting ready to give birth to something, everything is sterilized. Everything is sterilized. So when you're giving birth to thought in your mind and something is out of pocket, the thought that comes out of pocket, you got to go back and see what's going on in this space of mine. What I need to sterilize something. I need to really bring this to God and allow him to clean and cleanse what's going on in my mind, the palette of my thoughts.
Right. All right, so when we look at some of these comments, Minister Lanika said how I could be a better leader for my family and leading in love and grace and serving my church family and becoming the best version of myself. That's really good. I think that should be a place we all should be in our minds, honestly. Your wife said becoming better in all areas of life. Again, that's huge. That's showing that we want to grow.
Yeah.
And, we are at our favorite place to grow. So I'm glad to see these comments. That's really good. It shows that we all kind of in the same mentality. All right. So when I was reading the book, because we're coming from the book, and I'm going to read a quick section of it. It says,
Julia, get ready to post this quote.
If you're a thinker, I'm sure there is an ocean of riptides pushing and pulling at you too. Thoughts so deep and unresolved, you stop entertaining them for fear you'll drown and never make it back to the surface. That really, that dumped me bad. Because I got a point, we really have to change our mindsets from being at the shoreline to going to the deep. Our dreams have to be deep. First of all, God's will for us is deep.
It's deep, man.
It's deeper. The Bible says, "For I know the thoughts I think towards you," saith the Lord, thoughts of peace and not of evil, and to give you an expected end. That expected end is way in the deep.
It's in the deep, bro.
It's way in the deep. And so the way we have to be thinking forward. We can't be thinking in the past, because we think in the past, you're thinking about doubt.
Wow.
You're thinking with doubt. And so, of course, we understand where we are. We all have places where we are in life. But our thoughts should always go ahead of us.
Yeah.
Of course, we understand where we are. And while we're embracing the fact that my life has to get better.
Yeah.
Our life has to get better. We have work to do. We have to build our faith. We have to continue staying in our word, staying in prayer, trying to really seek the face of God.
Yeah.
And so I had another question for y'all. Are you scared of the deep?
You see, because she was speaking about, I'm going to piggyback off that. She was speaking about, Rachel Marie Kang was saying, we like to stay at the shore. If your thoughts was a beach, we like to stay at the shore.
Right.
Because the waves come in gentle at the shore.
Yeah, that's crazy, because I know when I was younger, I used to stay at the shore. First of all, when I was real young, don't tell nobody, but I really used to be scared of the beach, for real. So as I got older, I started getting closer and closer, further out. And so when I got to a point where I would see my dad go way into the deep, he's hitting all the waves, I was like, I think I could do the same thing.
I could get out there too.
I could get out there too. And so it's kind of showed me, if his faith, I know my dad is a man of faith. His faith is way out there. My faith can go there too.
Wow. So you follow your father.
I follow. Wow.
Follow the Father.
Follow the Father. Ooh, that's good.
Into the deep.
Into the deep.
Yes, sir. You preaching.
Stop. No. All right. And so also, like, when you go into the deep, you still have to stay anchored. Like, you're anchored in the deep. Like, if your faith is really in God, you're anchored in the deep. Yeah. Like, no matter how far you go, God said, I got you. His word said, I won't leave you nor forsake you, right?
Right.
That's what the Bible say.
If Peter could walk on water,
surely we can.
Wow.
So, like, to be anchored also means to be secure. So our faith and our thoughts and our dreams is secure in the Lord because we're still anchored out there. We don't have to be trying to run back to the shore just because it's safe, because, first of all, the waves will be pushing you back and forth anyway. Because you're running back from where you're supposed to be.
Wow.
When you're running back, you're going to be getting tossed to and fro.
You're going to get tossed. The waves be knocking you down.
Right. But if you have a set place where you're going, God said, I got you.
That's beautiful because it's safe. Wherever God is, as long as you're with the Lord, there's safety there.
Right.
It's security there. She was saying that we're scared to go into the deep because when you go into the deep, you don't know if you could come back to the surface.
Wow, yeah, you don't know.
When you go to the deep in your thoughts, you kind of feel it pulling away from you, your comfort zone getting pulled away from you, so you shrink back into the place.
Right.
You feel comfortable on the shoreline. But the you that you're looking for, the newness that you're looking for in your life, is not on the shoreline.
It's not on the shore.
You have to fight the waves in your mind. You have to fight the waves and actually make yourself get to the deep, because at the deep you will find a new revelation of who God is.
Right. So, we all go through life. We all have different situations we go through. Think of those as the waves. Yeah. All the situations that we go through, fighting and family drama, money. Think about that as just waves trying to hit you, trying to get you back to the shore. Yeah. We're not going back to the shore.
We're not going back.
We pushing through those waves.
We're pushing through them, bro.
Even when I vividly remember me and my dad jumping over the waves. Some people get caught in a wave and they're just going back to the shore.
Yeah.
You can't get caught. You got to jump over those waves.
Yeah.
It's hard, but you got to get over them.
You got to get over.
Because you're not going to feel the ground.
Right.
Oh, my God. You don't feel the ground with your feet when you're jumping over those big waves. Yeah. Until the waves come down, you kind of get a little security. But at the end of the day, you still have security because your anchor is held to the ground.
Anchored with Christ.
You're anchored with Christ.
Anchored in the Lord.
And so, like, even in the deepness of our future, because our future is deep,
yeah.
like, we're still secure. It's okay to dream big. It's okay to think big. There's security in our thoughts, especially if we're full of faith. But we have to stay focused. So when we look at Jesus' life, Jesus and his purpose, of course, he did miracles. He made the blind to be able to see, and he even made the deaf. He brought the dead, raised Lazarus from the dead. He did all these things, but what was his main purpose? Discipleship. His main purpose was discipleship. Yes, he stayed focused. Like, even he did all of these things, it was just to make disciples. Whenever he would heal somebody, they would start to follow Jesus.
This is crazy. The chat is chatting.
Yeah, they're chatting today.
Hold on. So the question was, are you scared of the deep? Tiffany says, comfortability at the shore. Faith leap into the deep.
Faith leap into the deep.
Keisha says, I've been thinking about what it looks like to lean into the journey of wifehood. That's a whole nother, boy. That's good. Deep.
Look, I like that, Keisha. I like that.
Stephanie said, yes, I am scared. Wow. Thank you for being vulnerable, baby.
Wow.
Yes, I am scared. Insecurity and fears tend to hold me back, but there's another side of me that wants more.
Bro, that's crazy, because I had a conversation yesterday, and the question was like, what do you feel like you are right now? I said, honestly, I'm scared.
Wow.
Like, I'm going to just be transparent. I'm scared. Because I don't know what is about to happen next in my life. I'm trying to brace myself, trying to make sure I'm staying in the will of God, because I know, especially for me as a young preacher, it's easy for pride to get in the way. And pride can take your thoughts from being focused on Jesus to focus on self.
Yeah, that ego.
Bro, that ego is huge. But I'm not going to focus on myself. I want to focus on Jesus. So I think I'm at a place where it's scary, but I had to be reassured that God got me. Even if I'm going into the deep, I know that God has a plan for me. And I'm going to let whatever God do for me, I'm going to let him do it.
This is beautiful. Chris said, ministries are way too focused on going high, having a high time in God. God works more effectively in the deep. Why are you so busy crying, yelling and shouting?
You still got stuff going on at home.
Now, the thing about it is, all right, our clothes, our house, what we drive, our demeanor, stuff like that. That's how people can recognize us. They recognize us on
Right.
the outer.
Right.
But your thoughts are how you're recognized on the inside. It's what do your thoughts say about you?
Right.
It's not about your money. It's not about none of that stuff that we focus on the outside. But on the inside, what do your thoughts say about you?
Right. We have to like go through a cleaning of our thoughts.
Yeah, fact.
We have to clean out our thoughts so that way our thoughts can manifest in our actions.
Exactly.
Like if we're having bad thoughts, I think it will definitely show in our actions.
Right.
So we really have to nurture like our desire and our thoughts. Wow, that's good.
You have to nurture
your desires and your thoughts.
All right, the scripture says, Proverbs 4:23 says, guard your heart above all else, for it determines the course of your life. And then Psalms 37:4 says, delight yourself also in the Lord, and he shall give you the desires of your heart. All these things that have to do with desires, all right? But with all these things that have to do with desires, you know what I'm saying? It's a certain kind of trend or pattern I seen when it comes to that, and it's just the thought process itself. So if thought comes from what you think comes from what's important to you, and this is just Cary saying it right now, right? What you think comes from what's important to you, and what's important to you comes from what you desire. All right, so this example. If you're working at your job and you're not feeling it, you want to feel fulfilled. That's your desire. So you start, your brain says, okay, the desire right now in this moment is to feel fulfilled. So then it's important. Then you start to think about ways that you could be fulfilled. You know what I'm saying? And one thing that could make me feel more fulfilled now is operating in full-time ministry. Right. You know what I'm saying? And that's the thought.
Right.
After I think about that, the process, then I have the thought, I'll feel more fulfilled if I'm working in full-time ministry.
Right.
But that's just the first line, all right? Because it's a war of thoughts. You have to break through the first line only to get to the second line. A lot of us can easily break through the first line to come up with theories and thoughts of what you need to do. That's the first line of defense, right? But the second line is what's most dangerous, because in that second line, it's the same thing again. I want to do full-time ministry. Then I string a new line. The line is, okay, full-time ministry looks like what? Then I start to think about what full-time ministry look like, and then I come with another thought, and this thought says, I don't know if I have capacity to accomplish this. And what we do, I'm going to speak for myself. What I do once I realize I don't have the capacity to do what I really want, which is full-time ministry, I don't have the capacity to do it, I'll shrink and run back to the shore and never make it past the second line, the second string of thought. I never get past there, because on the third string is when you actually write out strategies to get things done, all right? So I hope that example helps you see clearly what be going on in our mind, that these thoughts are actually stringing together. And as long as you keep running back to the shore where it's safe, you'll never break through that second line and actually strategize. So to touch on what Keisha say, some things that you could do to build your courage is, even though when you get to that second line and you say, you know what, I don't have the capacity for it, write it out anyway. Tell yourself, well, I'm all right. If I did pursue it, what would that look like? And actually start writing out different goals. And then you can see that, and you pray on those goals, and then allow God to give you strategy to reach those goals. I know that was a mouthful, but I hope that helped.
Yeah, so I really like what Elder Timmons and Keisha put. Elder Timmons said, keep clean out your thoughts, renew our minds daily. That's really good. Keisha said it's like what Pastor Godfrey commissioned us to do yesterday. Even though we feel like we can't praise or we're too big to respond, the hindrance is not in our mobility, it's in our mind blocks.
Hindrance is in our mind.
Bro, so it's, look, I feel like people don't realize how big our capacity is. So believe it or not, we really have a bigger capacity than we actually think.
Wow.
Like,
you can do more.
You can really do more. And so maturity is understanding that, like, our capacity is much bigger, and we have to transform our minds, since that's where our thoughts come from our mind.
Yeah.
The Bible says we're transformed by the renewing of our mind. So we have to renew our mind, and we can't doubt God because we have to have faith in Him.
Yeah.
Now faith is the substance of things hoped for. We
And
got
the
things
evidence.
and the evidence of things. Jesus,
That's a word.
we can't see it with our eyes.
Yeah.
We can see it in our thoughts, though.
Ooh, that's why it's so good to be focused.
Focus, bro.
Yeah, and to be present.
And so we also have to utilize the space in our mind for thoughts that can catapult our life.
Yeah.
So, like, I really want to challenge y'all to think deeper. Like, think further in your life. Like, don't just keep pondering on the past or just thinking about what's going on right now. Of course, we know where we are right now, but think further.
Yeah.
Like, you have to think to the future because we have somewhere to go.
We have somewhere to go.
As an individual, as a church family, we have somewhere to go. Like, I know me and Pastor Sims was talking about, like, what we could do for the collegiate ministry. I have, like, such a whole bunch of ideas. I'm trying to put them all in the words because it's a lot. But I see where it could really go and where this church could really go. And so all of our goals should be not just to follow the pastor, but to follow God.
Yeah.
Like, we have somewhere to go.
Oh my God, this is dope. Like, I love what the chat is saying.
We could put
Lanika said, crazy thing is we put ourselves in a prison.
Bro,
Ooh, limiting your own self.
you're limiting your own self.
Oh my God, you know, that reminds me about the children of Israel. They were on a journey, and while they were going to the journey, which was leading them to freedom,
Right.
it got hard, and it discouraged them from moving forward, and they decided, you know what, it's better for us to go back to Egypt.
Right.
Because at least then I knew I'd get a meal.
Right.
But what version of a life would you have? You would be in bondage still. Though it may be hard, though it may be, you know, you may come up with something that's discouraging, fight through it.
Right.
Because it's better for you. It's freedom on the other side. Going back is not the option.
Bro, trying to take the easy road.
Taking the easy road.
We can't do that.
What? The enemy don't want you to win, y'all. The enemy don't want you to win. The enemy don't want for you to see yourself like God sees you.
Right. Wow.
You're more than a conqueror.
Wow.
So why you think he keeps sending waves, talking about the oceans, your mind being like a
Right.
beach? Why he keeps sending waves of discouragement, waves of doubting, waves of second-guessing yourself? Because he don't want you to see. He wants you to be constantly in this wave, not so you don't even realize that if you get out there, you can float.
We can float.
You can float on top of this.
On top of this. Especially when we're anchored.
You're anchored.
When we're anchored, we could definitely float.
Nah, this is true.
This is good to me.
This
I
is
like this.
church.
This is good. But I'm not gonna lie, this is really helping me. I'm dead serious. Like, this is really helping me, especially where I've been mentally, like, the last couple weeks. Like, as I was studying for this Bible app, this was really, really helping me.
Yeah.
I'm like, what they say, it hit the preachers first
Yeah.
before it hit everybody else. Like, this has been hitting me bad.
Yeah.
So, like, understanding that we have greater in us.
Ooh.
I think once we all get that mindset that we have greater in us, we won't let nothing stop us.
Yeah.
We won't let the enemy stop us.
Nah,
We're not trying to take the easy road. We want to follow God at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Like,
Follow
we
God.
want to follow God. God is the one who's going to take us.
Yeah.
Take us there. Like, if God has a plan for us way out in the deep, why don't we have those same thoughts for ourselves?
Right. You gotta be like Peter. Bid me to come
Bid
with
me
you.
to come. Right.
I'm coming. If the deep is out there where you're at, God, bid me to come with you. I'm walking off this shore and I'm going to meet you in the deep.
I'm going to
and
meet
if
you.
I fall, you're there to
Pick me up every time.
Every time, and we'll walk back together.
He's never gonna let you fall.
Ooh.
Like, look, you really might stumble.
It's starting to stir.
Look, it's starting to stir. I
It's
feel
starting
it.
to eye.
Like, you can stumble, but God is not gonna let you fall.
Ah, my God.
Like, it may look rough.
It may look rough.
Like, but God's not gonna let you fall.
Right. You know, my daughter, when things look, you know, I'm gonna say that she was a pandemic baby. So she was around us a lot of times. So when things start looking shaky or people she start running back to us because she was uncertain. Now, Dream, on the other hand, he running to people. He saying, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
He's doing his own thing. But that is just when things look rough, we have the tendency to run back.
Run
but
back.
I promise you, bro, you don't have to run back. Just look back. That's why the scripture said, look to the hill.
Look to the hill.
From which cometh my
Our help is up.
Our help comes from who? The Lord.
Which is up.
Which is up.
Like, why are we looking down?
Right.
He's up there.
He's up there.
Like,
and if you're gonna run into the strong tower.
run into the strong tower, especially if you're righteous.
Yeah, the righteous run there in, and they're
be
what?
safe.
And they're safe.
Hello.
Boy, you preaching.
This is good to me. I'm telling you, this is really good to me.
All right, let's go in this chat. Let's see what this chat talking about.
Man can fail. Truth, God can. He can't fail. And he won't fail you. He will never fail you.
Yeah, that's dope. That's dope. Man can fail, but God can't.
Sometimes.
We gotta, Chris, we gotta pursue more and retreat less. That's a word. Chris, we gonna put you on the teacher squad.
I'm telling you. Turn back. Don't turn back, but reflect. Ooh.
Don't turn back, but reflect on what God already
What he already done
He
for us.
already delivered me.
Look, he saved me.
This is not the first time I've been in this scenario.
At all.
Think on these things. Woo.
And we just talked about remembrance.
Yeah,
Remember the things that the Lord has done for us.
Right.
If you remember, that means I have more faith to go further. Like, I'm going to keep on trusting him.
Keep on trusting God.
He's brought me too far for me to leave him. He's brought me way too far.
Way too far.
Like,
better is not in Egypt.
It's like I can see, like, in my life, I'm starting to understand this as I get older. Like, I may not be where I'm not where I used to be, but I know I have further to go.
Yeah.
Like, I can't. What's the second part of that phrase? I'm not where I used to be, but I'm glad.
I may not be. I'm not where I want to be.
I'm not where I want to be, but I'm not where I used to be. That means I have dreams to go further. Ooh. Like, I have to go further. I know God is walking right by my side. The Lord is my shepherd.
Oh, he's my shepherd. But we know these things.
We know these things. So, oh my God, why don't we just believe the Bible?
Go with what you know.
Go with what you know. We know these things, but it's like we actually doubt God.
Right. We go with what we don't know, and we let that shake us and cause us to move in fear.
Because you're going to toss and turn. So if you don't know, you're going to toss and turn. You're going to be worrying about everything. But I promise I have no worries when I have Jesus.
I'm telling you, when you know you in this will, it's good.
I ain't worried about nothing.
I ain't worried.
I don't care what life throw my way.
Right.
Bye. I got Jesus.
Yeah, I know. I'm where I'm supposed to be.
Like, I'm holding his hand right now.
Yeah, I'm holding his hand. I'm doing exactly what he want me to do. Yeah, facts. That's dope. Go with what you know, saints.
Go with what you know.
What we know is God will never leave us.
So Keisha said she wanted the points. She wanted us to catch her up.
Okay, on the points. All right, let's go back. All right, so number one, you have to be honest with your thoughts. Where are you? What have you been thinking? One of the notes that I had, a speaking point I had was we have to be present thinkers, right? We have to be present thinkers. Oftentimes when I'm riding in the car with my wife, or we're going on an out-of-town trip or something like that, my mind starts to think about other things. Even though we're on a journey, I'm thinking about other things, and my wife has to snap me out of it and say, where are you?
Wow.
Where are you right now? So basically, when she's asking, where are you, she's saying, what has your mind that you're so focused on in your mind that you can't be present? Because you're here, but you're not present.
There. Right.
And just like my wife, God is asking us, where are you? What are you thinking about? Though we're on this journey, what has you? What has your mind? Like, are you focused on fantasy? Like likes and stream being accepted by man and being in stardom.
Who cares about
famous and stuff like that?
Who cares about that?
Are you focused on that stuff? Yes, you're on the journey, but are you focused on these things? And then it helped me to understand this too, Keisha, that though we're on a journey, we're all on a journey, right? And we're going from one place to the next. But some of us, even though we're on a journey, feel like we're not moving anywhere and we're sitting still. It's because we're on a layover. Like when you fly on a plane from one destination to another, you're still on a journey, but you're on a layover. And some of us, we've been in a layover for too long.
Too long.
You need to make sure that you're still on the journey, and the way you do that is by keeping your mind present with where you're going, present with what you're doing it for, and who we're doing it for is for Christ.
Right. So our next point was we were talking about nurturing our desire and nurturing our thoughts. We can't think so surface. Like, God has better plans for us, so we have to really think deeper into the future.
Yeah.
Like, he really wants us to really think about the plans that he has for us. At the end of the day, Like
Right.
his plans for us are bigger than what we can even dream or imagine.
Right.
So while our plans are right here, his plans is back there.
Right. Oh, that's crazy.
Like our plans literally stop right here because this is all like we think
we
we
can
could.
see.
Oh my God, that's what we think is possible.
Wow, we stop at what we think
It's possible.
It's possible.
But isn't God is the God of the impossible?
Impossible.
Look, that's where he specializes.
God
God specializes. Like he specializes in the things that seem impossible. Like, bro,
That's deep.
So bad.
And we was talking about as far as nurturing, making sure that the place, your mind, the birthplace of your thought, that it be clean. And it got me thinking, like, when I order some wings or something like that, it always comes with celery. And I asked my bro, I was like, bro, why we got celery, bro? I want no celery with my wings. But he turned to me and said, bro, the celery is for this. Once you eat this buffalo sauce, over a period of time, you won't be able to enjoy it. It won't taste. You won't feel it no more.
Wow.
So the celery cleans your palate.
I never knew that.
That's why they give you celery, because it cleans your palate.
I'm still not gonna eat it though.
I'm still not gonna eat it.
I'm still not gonna eat it though.
But I use that for the foodies. I use that example. So just like your palate of your tongue, of your mouth, you need to cleanse the palate of your mind. That's how you nurture your desires. Oh, the shoreline too. We talked about the shoreline.
Yeah. That's thinking deeper.
Thinking
Think
deeper.
further. Yeah.
Stop staying in the safe place.
Stop staying in a safe place. Oh
Go
my God,
deeper.
that's so
Let
good.
your thoughts go deeper than the safe place that you're comfortable with.
Exactly.
And
Stop being so comfortable.
Go to the impossible.
Go to the impossible. Like our dreams. Oh my God, we was talking about this yesterday. Our dreams should be intimidating to us.
Wow. That's
like
deep.
our dreams should be like, dang, that's so far. But somehow I know I can get there.
I can get it, bro.
Somehow I know if I just keep making intentional steps and progression, we can get there. So like, oh my God, we have to have a progression of our thoughts.
Yeah.
Our thoughts can't. Oh my God,
Progression of your thoughts.
Progression
You
of our
still in
thoughts.
first gear.
we still in first gear. We haven't
Neutral.
look. We still on the break.
We still on the break. We haven't shifted yet.
We haven't even got to 10 miles an hour yet.
Wow, bro.
Like we have to be thinking further. Like we really have to be. Oh my God.
You remember when you first started driving and they told you to get on the expressway? That first trip on the expressway, bro.
I'm trying to think my first time on a highway.
My hands is like clocked in.
Yeah.
Everybody is doing, 70. I'm doing
65.
55, 55, 45.
Yeah, but like we so scared.
So
Like,
scared. And we can't go to life like this scared.
nah, bro.
Scared all the time. We're driving, but we're scared. We're not even going to the maximum potential
Oh my God.
of what we're driving, bro.
Because if we're going 55 miles per hour, I'm glad you said that. We're going 55 miles per hour. The speed limit is 70. People going to say people honking at us. We're holding other people up.
Oh my gosh, because we're not moving in
we're
the
not.
potential.
We're not moving our potential. That potential energy. That. Oh my God. Thank you, science class. That potential energy that we have.
Yeah.
Like we can go further than we really are going.
Right.
Because it's so much potential in us. We all have potential in us. In our thoughts, in our actions, in our whole lives, there's so much potential in us.
Yeah.
But we got to take those necessary steps to get to reach our potential. Our thoughts have to align. Well, our actions have to align with our thoughts.
Yeah.
Eventually, our actions have to catch up to what we're thinking about.
Faith without works,
Works
is
is dead.
dead.
They both have to align.
So if faith is the car and driving on the expressway, you know what I'm saying? If faith is that car driving on the expressway, the more you do it,
The easier
the
you get.
easier it get. But if you get up there, you just pull to the side of the road because I don't want to do it. Jesus take the wheel.
Right.
Bro, you're going to be there for a minute, bro. You'll never get over that hill, you know what I'm saying?
And then
Never
it's like,
get
I think it's like, too, driving in different cities. You can't drive in Tallahassee the way you drive in Atlanta.
You can't drive in Tallahassee the way you drive in New York,
Yeah.
Miami, boy.
So it's like once you, oh my God, you get to different territories, you have to adjust. Like you have to get, it's like you want to get comfortable, but you're not comfortable yet because you haven't did it. So it's new territory, so you have to drive different in new territory.
Yeah.
Your
Drive
thought pattern has to be different in a new territory.
Your thought pattern has to be different in new territory. That is deep. You can't do the same thing.
Can't do this.
Because if you go to Miami thinking you're going to hit that blink and somebody going to let you over, they going to speed up.
I'm telling you, exactly. Man, and then I can't even think, like, I know when I went to high school and middle school, I'm not studying for nothing. I was never studying. School came pretty easy for me. All I cared about was band. But I know once I got to college, I had to transform my mind.
Yeah.
I realized I can't think the way I used to think in high school.
Right.
Like I have to really be intentional about every step because I'm trying to get this degree. I'm already paying for these classes.
Right.
I got to get this degree. I can't be
I
playing
can't be
around.
out here.
We can't be here. I can't be here longer than 4 years.
Hey, I'm going to read a quote, but let's go to the chat real quick. But I'm going to read a quote from Dr. Daniel Amen. Hold on. Let's see what the chat's saying. Oh, Chris, you on fire tonight. He said, I'd rather have a pit stop than to not start at all.
Ooh.
Just start.
Just a pit.
Just get out there. Just start.
Just rev the engine.
Right. Let's see.
Wow.
Oh. But the price said, y'all cutting up.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God.
Oh, my God. Stephanie said, grounding ourselves daily in God's truth helps us to be present.
Wow.
You have to be grounded in the truth.
Truth.
Not your truth.
God's truth.
Not what your mama them truth is. God's truth.
Wow.
Because we all see different things, but it's God's truth that's matter. Oh, Lalika said not only present, but intentional thinking.
Intentional thinking.
Thinking. That's deep. So when we play, I said this before to my wife. I gave her the inside scoop of musicians.
Right.
When we play, it's one thing for all of us to be playing and we thinking, wow, we slamming like
Killing,
we
yeah.
killing. You know what I'm saying? But then it's another thing that when we come in and we say, hey, this is the focus that we're going on right now.
Right.
And this is the thing. I never forget it. Marcus Henderson told me this. He said, Cary, if we all just come in here and start playing, it's us shooting arrows in every direction.
Right.
Some of them, but most of them may not.
Right.
But if we come in together and focus and be intentional, pray before we actually play, and say, this is what we want to do, we have a target and we can hit it more consistently. That's beautiful. So stop aimlessly shooting your effort, letting your emotions run wild, your thoughts run wild in every direction, and ask God, come together with God first and have a target and put all your effort and energy towards that.
And I think churches will actually start seeing a difference in their service when musicians start thinking like that.
Yeah.
Like, well, I can say I love RMD. Jeff, that's my boy. I think Jeff watching now.
Shouts out to Jeff.
Shout out to Jeffrey Chambers.
On Daddy Daycare, right?
Daddy Daycare. But like he really stressed us like being intentional with like everything we play. Every hit got to be intentional. Yeah. Every chord we play got to be intentional. We not just doing stuff just to be fancy or just try to know like we're really trying to flow in that jet stream of the Holy Ghost.
Yeah, facts. We got to be right.
Like, we got to be right in tune. Like not just the pastor because of course we have to lock in with him. But if he's locked in to the Lord and we locked in with both of them, bro, imagine the services we can have. Like we have to be intentional about that.
Facts.
I think that has also played a part in how our service has been going.
Yeah, service has been
crazy. Services has been crazy.
Dog, man, the guy ain't even been preaching. It's just been nuts. Like
I promise on Sunday, like Saturday nights, that's when I really go. Like the warfare for like how service is gonna be.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I'm like, dang. I prayed for this.
Yeah. Oh wow. You
like,
living in what you prayed for.
Actually praying for this. And I hope everybody else praying the same thing. Right. But like I was like, dang, when I'm playing, I'm like, I really pray for the Lord to move the way he just moved today. So
okay. Now I'm gonna say this. I think I already touched it, but I'm gonna touch this again. Proverbs 23:7. For as he thinks in his heart, so is he. And I'm gonna read a quote from Dr. Daniel Amen. He's a professional psychiatrist for 30 years. He says, don't believe every stupid thought you have. He says, have a little question in your head. That question is it true? So when you feel like your husband doesn't love you, is it true? Because when you question your thoughts, you live in a more rational world. Because everything you think, although you may feel like it, but I come to understanding that what you feel ain't always real.
It's not always real.
What you're feeling is not always real. You can't go with what you feel. You can't go with that. You have to question, is this true? When the thoughts come in to try to make you question if you're an overcomer, if you can do this, is it true?
Wow.
Is it true? Can I really not do this? Or can I do exceedingly
Abundant.
abundantly above all that you ask or what? Think.
Wow. You ready to preach?
You see that?
Yeah. You want to? You
Cut
gotta,
me up. Let me go.
We're gonna put you in C sharp.
And C.
No, B major. B major. B major.
Boy, you are. All right,
Wow.
yeah. But yeah, that's good, man. Thoughts, your progression of thoughts is a beautiful thing. Capacity, make sure you don't believe everything that you feel. Every thought that come in, your mind ain't always a good one. And you have to screen those things. You have to be an advocate for your mind. You have to be an advocate for your mind and say, oh no, you will not abuse. You will not abuse the territory of this mind.
Not at all.
You will not abuse my self-confidence. You will not abuse me today. No, I'm the advocate for what's going on in here.
Wow.
And kick those bad things out of here.
Wow. And so the last point we really want to make is becoming your thoughts. We really want you to become your thoughts. Like the Bible says in Genesis 1 how God created heavens and earth. He formed man and to be in the likeness of him, like being in his image. So we were created to be great.
Yeah.
If we say God is this great God and we're striving, we're supposed to be in his image. Basically, we're supposed to be a mirror of him.
Yeah.
We're supposed to be creative. We're supposed to be thinking bigger. Because first of all, we came from a thought.
Wow, we came from the thought of God.
He thought about it, and he declared it,
Wow.
and it was done.
So creativity comes from thoughts.
Creativity comes for thoughts. Let there be thought.
Let there be thought.
Let there be thought.
Man, I gotta
Wow.
tie that in. I love this.
Like, we were created to create.
We're created to create.
We was created to create.
And then if you don't, whatever you set your mind on, if you're not setting on anything, your mind on anything that as far as becoming
Right.
or creating, and it's more so as far as dwelling and existing, we're missing it.
We're missing it.
We have to shift that gear of faith and take it to another level, take it to another speed. Let your mind sit on how can I become a better version of me? How can I be greater? And stop just taking what life gives you, and you start affecting life and turning life into what it is supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? What you want to see.
Right.
Yeah, that's facts.
So we just do a quick recap of our points we just went over. We're talking about being honest with with your thoughts and being present thinkers. We talked about nurturing our thoughts, nurturing our desires, and our last point was becoming our thoughts. So that's all we have for you. This is really good. I don't know if it blessed you, but it blessed me.
It blessed me, Doc.
It blessed me, Doc.
So before we leave, we want to give a time of sowing. You know, you can sow into this ministry. This ministry does a lot for the community. This ministry, it feeds people. It gives people rides to church. It does for the homeless. This ministry does a whole lot for the community. And if you want to be a blessing to the ministry, there's ways that you can give. You could do the text give option. The number should be on the screen. You could do Cash App, or you could do online giving. But please help us make this help us be the arms of Christ and take it further than where we can take it on our own. With your support, we can reach the ones that really need help, the ones that are overlooked, the ones that are in search of somebody to see them, and we will see them and give them what God has given us to give them. All right, so this has been a blessing. I'm so honored and so blessed to be in this position to speak to us, our family, and see the response of the people. You know, while we moving forward, I say the lab work should be take a thought inventory.
A thought inventory.
A thought inventory. The more you focus on your mind, the greater it'll be. Take a thought inventory of yourself. Maybe say throughout this workday, whenever I have a thought that is not of God or a thought that is contrary, I'm going to write it down and say what this thought is.
Right.
Write it down, and then when you write it down, you confess the positive. You confess what the Lord says.
Right.
And then soon that thought, you'll take that thought captive, and soon it won't bombard you like it's been bombarded.
Right. And it won't even be a thought no more. It'll be an action.
And then, so next week, while you're taking that thought inventory, I want you to come back after you list it. You know what I'm saying? You have a couple days to do it. After you list it, I want you to come back and tell us what thought have you been seeing the most, and the area that the enemy been attacking you the most. It shows you what the opposite side of that. The reason why he don't want you to get over that, because on the other side of that is a whole other level of glory, attached to it. So that's what we're fighting to, and that's where we'll be praying. You know what I'm saying? Praying for. So, all right, man, that's it for tonight, man. I hope y'all enjoyed it like we did. If you got any last words you want to share, brother?
Man, you said it all, really.
My Lord.
Taking inventory of your thoughts, like really letting the Lord create in you a clean heart and renew a right spirit within you. Like, that goes into your mind.
Yeah.
Because it all starts in your mind. Like,
Yeah.
you have to make a conscious decision that I want to not just live for God, but I want to follow the will and the plan for my life. So that's man, today was really good.
Facts.
Like, this was really good.
If you enjoyed it, let's see some hearts in the comments.
Let's see some
Get
hearts.
ready to go, man. We love y'all. See y'all. Have a good night.